Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 568 of Geeks in Space. I am Rob Commander Taco Malta, and today we are watching The Arrival, starring Charlie Sheen. I'm here with Chris DeBona.
Hello.
Nate Ostendorp.
Winning.
Rob Roseboom.
We are Sheen.
It's true. Okay, so my awareness of this movie was approximately zero. It came out like when we were like middle of college. Nate, I think you and I...
Against Independence Day.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
No, I didn't realize.
Yeah, that's not good.
Guess which one won?
I don't know. Discount Contact? Maybe? No.
Although there is a sequel to this movie.
Yeah, which did even better.
Does it star Emilio Estevez?
So here's the question. Was the sequel to The Arrival better than the sequel to Independence Day?
Ooh.
Because that would not be hard to be better.
That is true.
Deep question.
Bad.
Too early in the night for that level of depth. All right, so Charlie Sheen. I haven't really heard of the director. There's a lot of...
When you haven't heard of the director?
Tui?
He did
Tui?
Pitch Black.
Oh,
he did Pitch Black.
That's right. You mentioned that last time.
And Chronicles of Riddick. I mean, he's one of my favorite sort of like not so great sci-fi directors.
All right, well, I'll give you Pitch Black, but I ain't going to give you much on Chronicles of Riddick.
It wasn't good.
No. There's also littered throughout a bunch of state-of-the-art 1996 CGI effects. It's and a lot of like 80s radio astronomy nostalgia bits, but none of it makes sense. Like, if anything, Contact is a movie that was a labor of love made by people who really cared about their thing. This is like somebody took the script for something like Contact and said, let's make it stupid.
I think they literally lifted lines from the book Contact, because Contact itself wouldn't come out until a year later. So,
Well, it wouldn't surprise me at all if this was one of those. You know how they had 2 Wyatt Earp movies, 2 volcano movies. This came out against Independence Day, so I'm sure someone's like, hey, they have some wacky alien movie coming out. We got to have a wacky alien movie.
And look, Jodie Foster is working on one over here with Matthew McConaughey. We should take some of that stuff too.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, this is not a good movie. Are we in agreement here? Okay.
Yes.
But it is a B sci-fi horror film. So
it's not all bad.
No.
Right?
I mean, I literally am halfway through the Blob, the 1980s Blob right now, so I can't say anything about watching B sci-fi.
Yeah. No, I still got some enjoyment out of watching it. I will tell you though, knowing what I know now about Charlie Sheen, I just think what a piece of crap Charlie Sheen is.
Mm-hmm.
The entire time I'm watching it. Every time he's mean to Terry Polo, I'm like, why are you mean to Terry Polo? You're an abusive jerkbag.
And Toby, he's really mean.
We'll get to Toby.
Mostly I thought about how he was in Wall Street in Platoon and was really good.
Yeah.
And then there's this. I don't believe that he is this guy. Not even once did I believe.
What about Hot Shots? Hot Shots Part 2?
Even Hot Shots.
Come on, what about the baseball one where he's got the glasses?
I do want to let this pan run a second because I feel like there's a scale problem.
No, I saw that and I'm like, and then I realized, this probably cost like $50,000 just for this pan.
Probably more. But
yeah.
I don't dare let this whole thing run through. But if you watch, I don't feel like we truly went to orbit. I feel like the amount of time that we panned back, we should be only at a few thousand feet.
But who's gonna know? Because they didn't have Google Earth. They just had that Ames, scale art film.
Right, Powers of 10.
Movie.
Yep. Powers of 10.
Because Keyhole wouldn't come out until I think 97 or 98. So
maybe it was inspired.
No, actually,
it was inspired by this.
Say that. I think Keyhole actually predated this.
You know full well that he was inspired by this. This is the basis of most Google technology.
Lots of computers in the background with 5 1/4-inch floppy drives.
Mm-hmm. A lot of beige.
Running at 33 megahertz.
Yeah.
I will give you that I kind of like the lab scenes because they're not overdone. They're like what a lab would probably look like. Right. So
Definitely, I'll give you that. And I will say, like, all of the tech looks to my eye to be appropriate 1996 technology. There's only a couple of things that look fake. Like the fact that people like Charlie Sheen, that feels fake.
Yeah, it's super fake.
But also the fact that he has a friend, and his friend is Toby.
Yeah, that was just a weird side thing. Now, I will point out, Ron Silver,
actor-activist Ron Silver.
Oh, he's an activist. I didn't know that.
You should read his Wikipedia.
I will. So Ron Silver was the bad guy in Time Cop around the same time. You know, he was your go-to sort of icky, powerful dude. You know, and he did some good work. You know, I enjoyed him in his various things. Even as Ron Silverado, the Mexican policeman.
Actor-activist Ron Silver.
No. Actor-activist Ron Silver.
Yeah. Now we get Toby, who has no beard, and so therefore does not look like a smart human.
He's not really supposed to be a smart human.
No.
At least according to the dialogue, a barely competent radio astronomy gopher.
Yeah.
Well, imagine being second to Charlie Sheen.
With absolutely no backbone or courage.
Yeah.
It's just a wet noodle.
Yep.
Yeah, he's the ethics of a limp asparagus.
It is interesting how a beard and a suit makes so much difference. But I mean, he carries himself very differently. If nothing less, if I could take nothing out of this movie except this fact, it's that he's actually a pretty decent actor, because this character is worlds apart from the kind of nervous confidence that he displays throughout West Wing.
Oh yeah, he's a great actor.
He's a great actor. Yeah, no, there's a lot of good actors dotted in this movie. Charlie Sheen is not one of them, though.
No. So this I actually noted, because this is one of the bits of animation that did not look real to me. I'll see.
Nice symmetry to the modulation. Detection
protocol.
Like, that's BS.
That was right out of Escape from New York or something.
That was just, they ran a filter on a still image to try to...
Especially if you compare this to his girlfriend, who's supposed to be in Wall Street, and the graphics on her computer, which are somewhat realistic. Yeah.
Glad they have a red phone.
The red phone.
Days today.
The red phone.
Software check. Jumping ahead to phase 3, second source verification.
Another complaint that I have is Charlie Sheen's fake keyboard typing.
Oh, it's infuriating.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally like...
It's like when you watch puppets type in a kid's show.
Except for you like puppets. I mean, who doesn't like a freaking Muppet? Then you got Charlie Sheen doing it. You're like, I hate this guy with his hot dog fingers.
He, I don't know. Maybe he was decent back then. Maybe this is before he went crazy. I don't know.
It was clear. No.
I don't know.
After ostensibly he raped people.
After Maximum Impact.
He was in Maximum.
Was that the one?
Impact?
Was that the one?
You think
Maximum Overdrive, yeah.
That was his brother. That was Emilio Estevez.
It's hard to keep track of the Sheen clan.
You know, it's not really that hard.
Oh,
just saying.
Because there's like 9 of them, right?
There's 2.
Oh,
maybe 3.
3.
I mean, unless you count the dad, you know.
You don't count the dad?
4.
Well, but it's generational then.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Here we go. I get some Ron Silver. Ugh.
Ron Silver.
All right. I just want to point out magnetic desk sculpture. So
nicely done. It's literally the same one from Aliens. It's like we planned this.
Yeah.
You get a gold sticker by your name, Nate. The Golden Observing Geek Award. Ambalu's going to tell us that there was a drinking bird in the first Alien. so there should be a drinking bird in the sequel to The Arrival.
What the hell is that on his desk between the sticky notes?
Is that a knife?
That's a letter opener.
Oh.
Is it?
You've never seen that's a letter opener.
Oh, I'm blocking it for Jake and Elon. There, you can see it behind me.
Yeah, no, that's just a classic letter opener. So, generic set dressing. Yep. You don't seem convinced, husband.
It looks like no letter opener I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
I have not spent a lot of time opening letters, though. I use my finger like a madman. Just
I've got like a sci-fi letter opener. You know, it looks like a little, Excalibur.
I assume everybody caught this shot because it's pretty darn obvious. Carl Sagan's book.
Sagan.
Yeah.
You mean this? I thought you meant this one.
And then
I got to tell you, they are artful in hiding nipples and genitalia in this like little scene.
Yep.
I'm like, wow. I mean, everything is just perfectly timed.
Yeah. There are... This gets me to kind of... This isn't the moment, Joe Estevez below says. There's so many Estevezes. At this moment, I'm worried about the movie, but this is not the moment where I knew that the movie was going to be a train wreck of hell. But this was
a train wreck of hell.
All right, man. You remember when those CGI things jumped really high?
Okay. We'll talk about that.
All right, we'll get there.
We'll
keep
going.
We'll get there. I'm
sorry, this isn't Millennium.
Oh,
this isn't. We've seen way worse. Space Camp.
Yeah, he's garbage.
What's your point?
Dick.
The thing,
just angry at you.
Yeah,
for no reason.
The thing that's really weird to me, and it really progresses as this movie goes along, and like you understand, like okay, he's like the drank the Kool-Aid, knows the truth that the world is not aware of. Like we see that all the time today. But as the movie goes on, he gets more and more insane to just see like anything that he does coming out of his face. Like you are not an advocate for your issue. It reminds me so much of modern politics.
It does, right? Well, so the other thing is he's sweaty a lot in this movie. Like here, and I know it's sort of part of the storyline, but I also think it was to accommodate his cocaine sweats.
All right. I just wanted to note that I had a bunch of those little figure guys when I was a kid, and I
they were fun.
And that this looks almost as good as the aliens in the movie.
He's not wrong.
I mean, maybe one standard deviation worse, but close.
What's the moral of the story? Use prosthetics and not CGI if it's 1996, because this movie kind of fails on prosthetics too. All right, so
here is where I kind of got a picture, like if you didn't have the rest of the movie and you just saw him in this car with these sunglasses swearing at the security guard, that's how I actually think of most QAnon type people. So.
Let's see if I can back up a little bit and get the original, the first. So that car, when I saw his car wheel through, I was like, it looked exactly like one of Miyagi's cars from the Karate Kid, and I just finished, the season 3 of Cobra Kai, and they reference the cars several times, and I was just like, oh no.
So the only thing I was going to mention is, so you have to show the actor. So this is Gariant something, Butler or something like that. I don't remember his last name, but he was the main character in Forever Night, right? So and I had seen Forever Night when I first saw this movie, and I was just like, it's so weird because Forever Night is like this vampire show set in Quebec. And it takes itself super seriously, and it's super overdramatic, right? So I can't watch this without hearing him go, "La quoi? I am going to come for you," and it's just very silly.
But this whole sequence is really disconcerting too, because as far as I can tell, he just storms into an academic conference and is like, "Where's Joe? I need Joe," and is like yelling at people to give him the guy.
And I don't know if I've ever seen more ham-handed foreshadowing in a movie. Like nothing is a surprise in this movie ever,
right?
Because there's a scene about it 20 minutes before it happens.
Exactly.
Yep. I mean, I guess they did start with that lady panning into space from her nice lush green farm in the middle of the North Pole.
Yeah, I did like that scene.
Oh, was she in the South Pole?
I thought that was supposed to be Antarctica.
Yeah. They implied dirt because there's plants. So that would be whichever one is not just pure ice. So the South Pole.
All right. There's a shot here that I liked. I just wanted to let it run. This is a really nice pan. Or down
nice.
tilt. Look at this. I mean, they catch.
If you are interested in shots of satellite dishes, this movie has you covered.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see big ones. You're going to see small ones. You're going to see sci-fi ones.
Yep. People are going to stand on them and run around.
Like all the movies we've watched so far, there's been parts in it where, at least for me, I say, oh, this is why that person chose this. And this was a shot for me that said, oh, this is why Chris likes this movie, because there's satellite dishes.
Lots of satellite dishes, yeah.
It's got the very large array. It's got the Owens Valley Satellite Observatory. It's got a guy making an array out of dumb satellite dishes.
This is just a great movie. The first little satellite hit for Chris, like, here you go, buddy.
Yeah. He's all like,
satellite.
I
gotta get his fix.
I have to regularly watch GoldenEye, you know.
When Arecibo went down, he went into a pretty serious depression.
I did.
So this shot where it ends with the phone ringing, which I actually really like because now the roof is, visually blocking the antenna, and I know they didn't intend that, but I feel like that satellite's probably hearing that phone. That was just, I don't know why. That's what I got out of this.
I do love satellites.
Yeah.
All right. This one you need to play a few seconds.
All right.
Now we track this thing in stereo time, in star time, okay?
Star
I don't
time.
know who these guys are, but I do know that they're lying to you.
Is that what you want?
Yeah. So the whole thing is that oh, well, they say that it's a spy satellite, and he's like, stars and satellites move differently, which, okay,
true.
I'll buy that. That's a reasonable argument. Why doesn't Toby, as a radio astronomer, know that?
Yeah.
Well, he does. This is exposition for the audience's sake.
Yeah, see, that's bad screenwriting is what that is.
That is some bad screenwriting.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so, and lots of arguing.
This shot, I mean, there are, I think, I might have noted like 5 shots where just like, come on, really?
And honestly, if you're gonna get some Sheen butt, the jeans should be tighter.
Ooh. For sure.
So you can see the tiger blood coursing through his butt veins.
Yeah. Want to be able to read your pulse.
Jesus Christ.
It's true. Okay, so here's the montage.
It's a montage.
It's a good montage.
And it's good.
Satellite array montage.
It is good. Go door to door, even speak some Spanish. It's a montage.
There is legit like 2 or 3 minutes of the film that are just like home satellites panning.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, how much satellite panning footage did you need to collect where they're sitting in the editing room going, this is the one. This one makes it in.
It does kind of bother me that it looks to me from this shot that he has just gone to like an Ace Hardware store and is just grabbing a bunch of cables off the rack. For the project that he's on, he should really be going direct to some kind of distributor because he's got to buy a lot of parts for what he's doing.
These are also 9-pin serial cables, like,
I mean, was a satellite dish in the mid-90s like a DB9 connection? I don't know.
Well, I mean, no. I think that the serial cables would have been used for controlling the motors on them.
Right.
He moves them,
Right.
Yeah. So I think that's what the serial cables were.
But I mean, okay.
And then all the coax was for the signals.
The number of things.
That was actually my other question is, wouldn't he be like really disrupting the the television signal of all these people?
Yeah, I get to that with 2640.
All right. Okay. My theory, and I immediately thought the exact same thing though. My theory is that he's only doing this like during off hours, but
I do like his new lab.
Yep.
Again, the aesthetic pretty realistic,
and
it's got kind of a workshop vibe, like lots of stuff with pipes and aluminum angle and all that kind of stuff.
Tactile switches.
I mean, it'd be 80/20 extrusion if it was modern, but yeah, it's good. Lots of switches.
Good for him.
And here's the kid.
So here's where I knew the movie was going to be bad. Up until this moment, I'm like, okay, there's like 6 different ways that it could go. But the one way that I was not expecting was it to just go full James Cameron and say, let's add a little kid. We need a sidekick.
Can you leave?
What are you doing here?
I live here. Do you mind?
Ugh. Yeah. And I know the twist. Ugh.
Yeah, but even knowing the twist, it doesn't make it good.
Doesn't make it right.
Because the thing is, with the twist, it's not good. Without the twist, it's even worse. Because then they're going for a plucky kid friend. Ugh.
Yeah, they're trying to.
And also, you don't want to leave kids around Charlie Sheen. You know, it's like it's not okay. I mean,
they'll for sure pick up some bad habits.
And an STD or two. Yeah, I mean, let's get real. This is not a good guy.
Oh wait, we can actually see how many antennas he has.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he's only got like 20. This isn't like an insane thing that he did.
20. Yeah. So the thing I mentioned was when he hits this button and it moves the satellites. I'm just picturing like all the ladies watching their telenovelas and going, "My stories, where are they going?" You know, they're being interrupted because it would interrupt their show.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's 1996. Law and Order clearly is not on the air yet. Because I'm sorry, not Law and Order. West Wing. West Wing is not on the air yet because that we got one of those dudes here.
I mean, you have the Law and Order sound effect. It's been going on forever. Law and Order premiered on September 13th, 1990.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misspoke. I was thinking about a different show. All right. Yeah, I just assumed he was doing it late at night, but then why would the kid be there? Probably because aliens are really bad bads.
After 10 o'clock, his grandmother is drunk or something.
Oh, that's right. So. Cold cough syrup.
Yeah, cough syrup.
Well, but if that's the case then, and he's intentionally put these satellites, with reasonably older people, like I go to bed at 11, I mean, like if you just start your satellite dish at 11:30, you're probably going to not get most of those people, the 16 dishes.
It's true. Nice stories.
What's that?
Voyager is a planetary probe launched in the mid-70s. They don't teach science in school anymore?
So I have a question here. He's contacting Voyager, and he's doing it with his little array here. Now, I know that in 2020, 2021, you're not doing that with 18 satellite dishes in a downtown of a city. Can you do that in 1996? And that's half.
It was closer.
It's half. I mean, this is a really long time ago in terms of Voyager, right? Voyager goes up in the early to mid 70s.
Yeah, Voyager. It was a Voyager 2 or Voyager 1.
I think he said Voyager 2, but I don't think it matters.
Voyager 2. I mean, they were pretty close to each other, right?
Right, but I'm saying this is as close.
Boston 77. So, yeah.
Anyway, that kind of bothered me, but I mean, I guess they have to mention the like 2 satellites that people are going to know the names of.
I would say in the range of ways in which this movie bends reality.
That's not the one.
The fact that you might not be able to hear Voyager with your backyard satellite array, minor. This shot just struck me. So, number one, because he's kind of looking up and they're panning through the roof. And then if you just play like a second, you'll see Charlie Sheen's terrible keyboard, terrible keyboard fingers. No one touches a keyboard that way.
Hey, Nate, you're blocking it. Lean to one side. All right, there we go. All right, we got it.
Yeah, it's like...
Also, the landscape and gardening service truck that shows up throughout the entire thing with no name. That I actually kind of like that. It's like we don't even have a name. We're landscape and gardening services.
Yeah, they should have thrown like a AAA in front of it or
anything. Like Joe's.
It should have just said work truck and then a number.
Right. It should have said not aliens.
Yeah. Do you need work?
Actually, it could say legal aliens because they own the Earth, right? Aren't we really living on their planet at this point?
What? No.
Isn't that truck is the aliens are in those trucks?
Yes, there are aliens in the truck,
and they're running the show.
No, they're not.
No, they own 20 sites in South America. You know, it's very different from owning the whole planet. I mean,
see, I feel like I mean, my perception of this, and maybe I'm just reading more into this. I feel so. All right, They Live is They Live is like 10. Well, They Live is like this plus 10 years maybe, or 20 years. In my mind, but they're still like under control here. Like they've got their tentacles throughout government. That's my position.
They've got Ron Silvers in every branch of government.
Actor, activist Ron Silver.
Yeah. Actor, activist Ron Silver.
Yep. So all right, let's see. Oh, did you get the airplane landing here? This actually kind of concerned me.
Yeah. Yeah. So
they shot this badly. Woo! That's
so because it's under the line there, so you're like, it's gonna hit. So the thing is, I get why she went, right? Because she saw the methane plumes and all the rest.
He heard the radio station.
His satellite is not a reason to go to South America.
You're Charlie Sheen. What do you know about tiger's blood?
That's a reason to go get a couple extra satellite dishes on your array so you don't hear the shit bouncing off the island.
I think we're in Mexico. So
we're in Mexico. So
in North America.
Sorry. So but you don't go to central Mexico and Oaxaca just because you hear, some narcotraficantes bouncing off the ionosphere. That is not scientific. Now, what the lady did was scientific because there was methane plumes and she wanted to see what was going on there. But
I mean, look, man, Charlie's chasing them breadcrumbs. How else do you expect to have an exciting movie where you get to see him again showing his nipples?
This was fantastic.
Yeah.
Never in any movie have I ever seen an assassin try to kill you via bathtub.
Yeah.
Bathtub falling on you, not drowning you in the bathtub, but literally dropping a bathtub on you.
Yeah.
It's really, it's a really inefficient and unpredictable way of doing it.
You're playing the long
game. He had
game.
a little phone dialer, by the way.
Oh, he's got a...
So the little black thing on the bottom right, that was something that Radio Shack used to sell. And what it was is you would have your phone numbers in it, and then you could use that with rotary phones to hit the sounds into it.
All right, so that was another bit of Charlie Sheen booty.
Yeah.
But this
so dumb.
I mean, okay, I really liked this sequence.
So what was great about it was it falls through the floor and makes a lot of noise and chaos. And this is a hilarious scene. But I kept on thinking about Turn Down for What? The music video.
Turn down for what?
And it's like...
You didn't cue it up for us?
No, I didn't, because Lil Wayne got his pardon. He doesn't need me to promote him.
That's fair. Radio Astronomy Live just retweeted that we're watching this. So apparently this movie has a fandom amongst Radio Astronomy Live.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, that makes perfect sense, you know?
You don't have a lot of choices in movies. You got this and Contact, right?
Kind of. I mean, there's some other really good satellite.
Oh, I'm sure. So this was you,
I'm
Chris.
Gonna follow those folks back.
I mean,
the only thing I wanted to say is, listen, I actually think this may have been the first movie, I don't know, where I really saw like this Day of the Dead stuff, Dia de los Muertos, and I know it's important to their culture or whatever, but it always creeped me the heck out. It was super creepy. I still am creeped out by it, and I just get creeped out by it.
So it's amazing to me that anytime any of these movies has a part in Mexico, that is always in this week.
It's always Day of the Dead.
Yes.
It's the only time you go to Mexico.
It's during Day of the Dead.
Well, it's the same reason that whenever you go to Paris, your window faces the Eiffel Tower. You got to know, you're in Paris.
Yeah. So the Day of the Dead is in early November 1st and 2nd. And I'm not sure that actually jibes with earlier parts and later parts of the movie. that this is November.
They do say, he says it's hot, but then he says this is a normal temperature later, but they don't really specify, I don't think.
Well, they say this is cool, so it could be November, because it'd be cooler.
Sure. There's several shots throughout the movie where people have marionette puppets. Is that all Day of the Dead stuff too, or is that?
Yeah, that's supposed to be Day of the Dead stuff.
I wasn't sure if that was like supposed to be some weird symbolism, because I was looking for like the aliens are pulling the strings and like that was the director trying to be clever, but I don't know if that was. No. Oh man, this scene.
All right, yeah. So this is the first sort of like direct alien sighting that you have, and it's ridiculous.
It's
so bad.
It's so bad. It's so silly, and it's so pointless. I'm like, why did you make them chicken walkers? It doesn't make any sense. And somehow they can make their legs go the other way just fine, no problem. I'm like, what? Do they have completely articulatable like knees? Why do they have the cracking sound? It doesn't make any sense.
The only way that works is if you're built like a bird or like a chicken. If you have the muscle structure of a humanoid, there's no mechanical advantage to have your knees go the opposite way and use your quads.
I feel like, especially in this era, when you're talking about computer animation, a lot of it is making really smart choices. Like Jurassic Park is the famous example, right? Like a lot of the shots of dinosaurs in Jurassic Park are models, but when you see the full CGI shots, a lot of them are in shadows or they're very brief. I mean, they make a lot of really smart decisions to compensate for the fact that the technology is not quite what we would expect, what you'd want. This is like the exact opposite. This is, we decided to take the worst thing, make the worst uncanny valley breaking shot that we could think of. So you are from this is the 44-minute and 5-second mark. From this point on, you know the aliens are stupid. And I mean, you already know the movie has a little kid, so it's hard at this point.
It's so dumb. Sorry.
Oh no.
Sorry, I fell down a Wikipedia hole. It turns out
this scene actually doesn't make any sense with the twist, but
no, it really doesn't.
No.
I do kind of like the space Roombas though.
Yeah.
So I wish that they showed all of the stuff coming out of them, like them emptying them, and then I would move all the time.
Yeah.
What really?
I mean, I just figured it collapses it down to like a little chunk of neutronium or something, right? So there's no output; it's just gone.
There's just nothing about this that works.
No, but it's cool.
I think it looks cool.
I think it looks wicked cool. And they have the whole Stargate sort of texturing on it, like someone cared about that black hole grenade. That's all I gotta say.
I guess, but like, I don't know. I think my problem is
it's weird that all the cable unspools before things get sucked into it.
It's like
that was a little weird. Also, it seems to work more like wind and less like gravity.
Yep.
Yeah.
On account, it doesn't crush this little wooden structure, but does an entire satellite array or dish later.
Well, so you have to assume that this machine has intelligence. It's not pulling the boards off the walls. It knows that's cables.
I don't assume it has intelligence.
Yeah, I think it's a machine. I think it's just.
I don't mean artificial, like wise. I mean like it's a program that's like it's not just a gravity well.
I think it is though. I think it's
That's why this movie doesn't make sense.
It's not it's not a great movie. I think we can.
All right.
Okay.
It's cool.
Oh, did I miss the crow? I had the wrong timestamp for the crow. Oh, this shot does not work.
Oh,
there it is.
Thanks, movie.
And the scene with the feather falling.
Thanks, movie.
Because the feather didn't go in. It was very silly.
All right.
Scorpions.
Here's where the movie lost it for me. For me, it was when they're pulling out emperor scorpions, which are the safest scorpion in the entire world. Really? They don't sting to defend. They don't sting to gather food. You can buy these for $10 in any pet store. He would have been better served to fill her room full of mosquitoes and hope she catches malaria than putting like 12 of these harmless animals in her room. Screw that.
And it's not even native to Mexico.
No,
it's from Africa.
Yeah.
I mean,
and there is a lot of scorpion related footage in this movie. Like a lot.
Scorpions kind of creep me out though, I got to tell you. So it works.
Well, I feel safe now knowing what Rob has told me. I trust Rob.
There's a great Wikipedia entry on how to sex scorpions, because like the females have different like eyelashy things than the males, so it's kind of cool. So maybe next time.
I thought you meant sex in a different context.
No, I'm not talking about romancing scorpions because they freak me out. So.
Definitely have to go slow.
All right, so it was at this point in the movie where I remembered where I have seen her, because I did not like her at all, and I could not figure out why. And then I realized she's the initiative head from season 4 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, who's like the teacher in their school, and I hated her in that role, and now I hate her in this role.
Yep. She was a stern woman character that people would go to. She was in a lot of Law and Orders. She was in, a bunch of stuff like that. So that was her thing. And yes, she was Professor Maggie Walsh in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I really enjoyed our talk tonight.
That whole
uncommon
initiative
for me to find
terrible.
someone who can actually grasp the things that I'm passionate about.
So gross. Imagine having to come on to Charlie Sheen as part of your job.
Oh, I did want to note that Charlie Sheen's fashion throughout this entire sequence of the movie is like, I think I literally wore exactly that shirt and t-shirt throughout 2/3 of the late 90s.
Yep.
I think it's left over from previous movies that he was in, like, the baseball movie or The Chase. No, it was part of The Chase where he ends up with Buffy, original Buffy. Anyway. So
Christy Swanson,
who's whacked the dude. Okay, so I said, go back and
all
play
right,
it again.
ready?
Let's just take it in. Okay, and that's the moment she realized she was in a movie with Charlie Sheen.
Mm-hmm.
So, here's the cool alien satellite.
I actually like this.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I just was like, I hate paying for cable, right? Yeah. So.
I think it looks very Cardassian to me.
Yeah.
and
super
like, is Odo guarding this, or are you afraid that Kendall is going to use this to make $1 billion? Which Cardassian?
Well, let me look up who did the effects, the physical effects. Because I bet you there may be like a crossover with like the Stargate people or the Deep Space Nine people.
It definitely looks sort of golden agey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's cool.
No, it is really Stargate. Stargate movie, those patterns and textures.
Oh,
is that Zen? That's Zen.
Yeah. Did you want anything, Rob?
No, the Cardassian thing is what I.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, man. The good news, though, is we're going to get to the part soon where Charlie Sheen just basically runs for the rest of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I always like that part of movies. Okay, so now we get to the basement. He also, Charlie wears the reddest of shirts. He looks so bad.
Oh, he would mix in with the green screen behind him, right?
I hadn't even thought about that, but yeah, that's probably exactly what's happening here.
David B. Sharp Productions did a lot of the physical effects. Let's see.
Also, is anyone concerned that a race who is terraforming this planet and and has tricked the security professionals at the highest level. Like Charlie Sheen just basically walks into this freaking place, just goes down to the basement. All he has to do is put on that suit.
He's got an orange jumper, Rob. I mean, come on.
They relied too much on ignorance. That became their only line of defense.
Like this will work perfectly as long as no one tries.
This piece of furniture I really didn't like. Like I thought it was, kind of ridiculous that this is supposed to be their control panel. I think what it is a really uncomfortable couch, but very modern and stylish.
Also, once he touches the right one, he never touches the left one. And I certainly would.
Yeah.
Why does
It's cool. I like it.
Like this reminds me of, like, I've seen like sand and stuff used for that sort of effect in different movies, right? Like that seems like a Stargate thing, or like that sort of thing. I don't know. I like the wiggling water,
cool.
but it's weird because it reminds me of those old. Remember those gigantic, like, they're not really a trackball, but they're like a clicky trackball that you used to be able to get like way back in the day for playing video games, and they'd like click click click, but it was a giant orb. I always thought he was using that.
Yeah. Yeah. Space orbs,
They had a name, but I don't care enough to look them up.
Spaceballs?
Probably Spaceballs.
This is a lot of padding,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot in this movie. It doesn't need to be here, but yeah. He changed his glasses too.
Well, it came with the orange overcoat.
Yeah, they definitely would have noticed that he wasn't wearing standard issue glasses.
I just said this is such a bad scene. It's just there's nothing good about it, and they put a lot of work into making the physical, thing. And he's climbing the weird ladder girder, and it's just so bad.
This is just like a video
yeah.
where you go into the room and immediately you figure out, okay, this thing, these tubes shoot out some sort of projectile, it explodes. Yep. I have 2 tubes of projectiles before it's to me. Where do I got to jump? What do I got to do?
Yeah. Click on this. Okay. This.
Yeah. You got to show the transformation.
I would like to point out that this is like the 5th time that Charlie Sheen has had to get naked in this movie. Like,
where do you think he puts the tiger's blood?
Get your money's worth.
Yeah. This is so hilariously bad.
Also, it's not completely clear to me that it just wouldn't go over his clothing.
Well, he puts his arms up like this. The other guy had his arms down, and none of this makes any sense. This is very bad technology.
But I think what they did is they filmed the scene first, and then they realized on the days that Charlie can't make it because of his affinity for stuff, like, now we'll just change up the timeline and have the other Charlie do his scenes.
Look at the posture of that alien.
Yeah.
It needs to be the exact opposites if those legs are going to work.
Well, it's like their heads backwards, basically.
I have studied a fair bit of traditional animation history and such. And one of the things that they tell you when you do that is that you have to study anatomy if you want to make a believable animated character. And whoever designed that did not.
No. They didn't even look at most good mech warrior style mechs that were chicken walkers.
Right.
Because they kind of nailed it, right? It kind of worked, but
this one's rough, man.
You got to show the post transformation.
Yeah.
There we go.
So I actually, in this shot, I was looking at this like, what is wrong with him? Because in this shot, I was not aware that it was a prosthetic. I mean, it's only a couple seconds long. It's immediately clear. But in this shot, I just thought that they got like a sweaty dude.
Well,
I genuinely thought it was a different actor. And, this was how they cut out Charlie Sheen on his bad days.
Yeah. He looks so bad, though.
And of course, he tips his hand.
Funny scene,
yeah, that's a good gag.
Yeah.
But why is it bubbling? Why is it coming off him? It doesn't make it because he's not an alien.
Yeah. It doesn't bind well with human skin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's you're right. I should have appreciated the genius of
the Tui mojo.
The Tui mojo. Yeah, I mean, come on. I'm the one who suggests the damn movie. I mean, I gotta
you gotta own it.
I gotta own it. You know?
Right? Wait till you hear what's coming. It's Nate's turn this week, right?
Yeah. So I was gonna say, you know how high he is while filming the scene.
Yeah.
Just look at him. I mean, this isn't acting. This is I am effed up. That's what's going through his head.
This also has my favorite line in the movie. If you play just a few more seconds.
You don't look too good. Actually, I look like a can of smashed assholes.
It's a good line.
That feels like the Charlie Sheen I know and love from the late, or from the mid 2010s.
From Hot Shots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like a bag of smashed ass.
Yeah, and all of these scenes, he is just screaming and furious with everybody that he's talking to, and you can't take him seriously. He sounds like a crazy person. I know it must be difficult when you discover the secret conspiracy, and then your president doesn't cause a civil war on his last day in office, but you got to deal with that.
Yeah.
Get
off! Dude, you're touching him. You're touching Charlie Sheen.
You know where he's been.
You're gonna get mono. You're gonna get something. Hepatitis C. It's yeah. Ugh.
Oh, I forgot we have to go to this place.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of movies that use liquid nitrogen to shatter people. So I'd like to think I'm a connoisseur of the liquid nitrogen shattering people.
Sure.
And making them cold. But then you coupled it with the chicken thing, and I'm just like, oh, this is just so funny. So we have to watch it. So dumb. Yeah, and then so I was just watching this, and so at 34:41.
34:41, jumping back.
Yeah. There's this scene where they're driving around like it's a corral and they're horses, and I was like, this scene is from Maximum Overdrive.
Could be.
They're haunted trucks. They're haunted vans surrounding the little satellite dish.
I buy that.
I thought it was funny because who was in Maximum Overdrive?
Charlie Sheen.
No, Emilio Estevez's brother.
Are you sure? I think
I'm positive.
I thought that Charlie Sheen. Oh no, am I confusing Maximum Overdrive with Nate? What's the Lose Your Race, Lose Your Car?
Oh my gosh!
Because that's Charlie Sheen. That's what I'm thinking of.
Well, he was in
Emilio Estevez is in Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah, man.
It's not Charlie Sheen.
Oh. Then I'm thinking of a totally different movie, and I'm gonna have to figure it out when this call's done. Because
The Wraith.
The Wraith. That's what I'm thinking of.
That was a Charlie Sheen film.
Yeah, because he's in like 5 minutes of The Wraith, but he gets top billing. It's a really weird story too.
He was a big draw back then.
Oh yeah, you got the Charlie Sheen box
After a young
office.
man is murdered by a road racing gang of motorheads. Damn it, Nate! If you pick this, I'm going to be so pissed off at you.
I think I've seen that movie about 7 times.
It is not my week.
I watched it a bunch.
It is not my
Charlotte
week
Bennett,
because Aliens was mine. So
that's Randy.
Oh, it's
Quaid.
Rob's turn.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. Oh, here we go. Yeah, now we know the twist.
Dun dun
dun dun dun
dun dun.
Fortunately, there's 20 minutes left.
That's okay. We only have 4 comments left. You guys always peter out at the end.
Well, yeah, there's not a lot to say here except that they shatter a dude and blow up a big ol' dish.
Right? Look at that. That's some handy. Those aren't fingers though.
Those are definitely fingers.
But yeah, I love this shot
for sure.
Satellite. Great shot.
That is nice.
I have often said, like, I would not want to be an actor or anything, but the places that you would gain access to, the ability to do this,
that'd be so cool.
That would be cool. I would absolutely just love that to have that in my personal memory banks.
Yeah. Yeah, so the only thing I said, this is a great shot. I really liked it. And the next one, because the thing gets, flung around and falls, and she would have been flung around like a slingshot.
There's a lot wrong here.
Yeah.
They also they never show it like down with people on it. They clearly just didn't need that shot.
Like, okay, fall over. Okay, now lie down. Oh, it's really scary. Yeah. And the hardest part about this movie was having her actually appear to stick with and like Charlie Sheen. So yeah, the thing I was going to mention, you should scooch back because when he starts running away with the chicken legs, it just looks so bad.
Yeah, it really does look terrible.
Ugh. It's just so dumb.
He's gonna go live in the desert. It's gonna be great.
And I have to tell you, when I was watching Tenet and the scenes where they're clearly running backwards at the same time as the people are running forwards, I kept on thinking about this kid.
Wow.
And I'm like, look, they got the guy from The Arrival to do this, Anyway.
I still like Tenet better than this.
Well, sure. Anyway. Long short of it is, that's the end of the movie.
That one was rough.
Sorry.
I feel like there's a story here that you aren't telling us. Why did you pick this, man?
I don't know. I remembered liking it.
That's cool.
I think it was Satellite Dishes.
Satellite Dishes. That's fair. Because Contact. Contact is a good movie as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it is
good. Made with love. And this movie was made by crazy people for money.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Did you know there's not just one but two West Wing people in this movie?
Who's the other one?
Helen Santos, the first lady of President Santos in the later seasons, was played by Terry Polo, who was the gal on the satellite there.
There you go. I do remember her now that you mention it.
Yeah.
I kind of try to keep the last couple of seasons of West Wing not really at the front of my brain because they kind of make me sad.
Sure.
Well, it's Rob Roseboom's turn.
It is.
Oh, goody.
Enough of this. We're going 22 years in the future to Detroit with Omni Consumer Products. We're watching RoboCop.
Yes!
Nice.
I
approve.
All in. I have actually been meaning to watch RoboCop 2 for a really long time because I've read several places that RoboCop 2 is not bad, but RoboCop 3 is apparently horrible.
You should read different places.
Okay.
I guess compared to three, it's not as bad.
RoboCop 1 is. I watched it at the start of quarantine, and it is a fantastic movie. So this is an excellent pick, and I'm excited to go through it. Does anybody else have anything to get off their chest about The Arrival?
No, I just want to go to bed.
Yeah, I'm never watching that again. All right.
As you can see, I have Charlie beaming his thoughts into my head, and it's enough, man. I've had enough.
Winning.
Yep, that's enough winning. All right. Well, thank you, Chris DeBona.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nate Ostendorp.
Fare thee well.
And thank you, Rob Roseboom.
Yep. See ya.
I am
activist.
I am Rob Commander Taco Malda. That was The Arrival, and RoboCop is going to be way better.